first of all, Tom, thanks so much for joining us here on Astro Premier League. It's really nice to meet you. Let's take you back into time to an interview you did over 10 years ago, where you said the three things that you like to achieve before you die: to start a
Oh,
family,
yes,
to be back in the Premier League,
yes.
and to go to space. I think you're still working on that last one.
I said to go to space.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've done two out of three.
Pretty decent record, I would say. But looking back, right, it's sometimes really funny to kind of remember back what you said over 15 years ago. Looking back at your 10 years at Fulham in particular, how has it changed you as a person, both on and off the pitch?
Wow, loads. I think when I think back to coming here 10 years ago, I felt like, I don't know, like not a little boy, but like a very young man. I'd say that. And I think I was a different kind of player. I think on the pitch I was probably say a lot more attacking, a lot more around the box. And then as I've got older, I feel like I've got a little bit more defensive and helping building up out from the back and being a bit more possession based. And yeah, off the pitch, I think I've got a little bit more, not boring, but I'd say like less energetic. So yeah, it's been a massive change the last 10, 11 years, but it's been incredible to be here that long.
But what about as a person? Obviously, being a captain and all that now, I think as a person in the last 10 years, you've probably grown a lot yourself as well.
Yeah, it's yeah massively. I think to be captain for like what 9, 10 years, whatever it's been. I think back to myself as a captain at the start. I feel like I've changed a lot. I've become a lot more a lot more versatile. I'd say. I think I can speak. The good thing about me, I can speak to a young environment, like a young group in the change room. I can also speak to the older guys about kids, about school. So I think like it's important as a captain to make people feel welcome, especially new players as well that come from different countries. And yeah, that's what I try and do.
So are you in the Gen Z, Gen Alpha lingo?
I don't know what that is, but yeah, probably.
Well, I mean, you have kids. I'm assuming, like, you know what 6'7" means, for example.
Yeah, yeah, 6'7".
Brilliant. Looking back at your time at Fulham, what's been the, I guess, the highlight, really? I mean, everyone talks about that Wembley goal, don't they?
Yes.
But, where does that one rank emotionally in terms of everything else that you've achieved?
Yeah, I'd probably say emotionally that's at the top. I think our first promotion was probably emotionally the biggest highlight of my time at Fulham because we wanted it so bad. I felt like we deserved it. But I've been lucky enough to have two more promotions after that, and I feel lifting trophies is an amazing feeling. I managed to lift the trophy at Craven Cottage as well, which was special. And then I'd say the last 4 years have probably been the highlight, really, being in the Premier League for so long and being successful and beating some top teams along the way.
Right, before we move on then, did you want to change that goal you wanted, three things to achieve before you die? So you got back in the Premier League, you got start a family, go to space, not sure if that's going to work out. Would you like to change that?
Would I like to change that? Uh, no, I'd still like to go to space, you know. I actually would like to go. Even though I'm a little bit scared of flying, so I don't know why I said that. But I would like to go to space. I'll leave it.
As what are some of the things that you feel that players or fans don't talk about enough about life in this industry?
I feel like they don't realise maybe sometimes that like it's quite hard, like how hard it is, how competitive it is. I mean, the chances of making it as a footballer in general are like 0 point something, and then even less to be a Premier League player. So, and then also you've got like it's contract to contract. I've been fortunate enough to be in the same place for 10, 11 years, but I know a lot of players that move countries every 2 years or move places in England, like up and down the country, and they can have families, and I think that side of it is very yeah. I think that's difficult because you can't really rest anywhere. So there's a lot of I don't know. I don't want to say downsides, but I'd say a lot of challenges. There's obviously incredible sides of football as well that would never change. But yeah, I think it's a lot harder than some people think.
Well, as a captain, you also have your own challenges. How difficult is it when you are at a club where at times you will have to risk losing some of your best players? How does that make your job as a captain more difficult to keep everyone together?
I think it's a bit of both really because you want people to try and come in for your players because I think that means you're being successful and that means you're doing well. So if other teams want our players, then we're obviously doing something right. But then at the same time, as a captain, if the say the best players leave, then I feel like it's quite important to keep everyone together, to keep everyone believing that we can still be successful without these players that have helped us. But no, it's just part and parcel of the game, and I think when you've been in it for so long, you just expect it.
Well, Harry Wilson is in the form of his life at the moment. So take us behind the scenes as a teammate. How has he been different and what's been clicking for him?
Oh, he's in incredible form, and yeah, I played with him for a long time. So to see him in this form in the Premier League is amazing. But he's not really changed. He hasn't really he hasn't really said that much, to be honest. We always talk about his goals. I mean, his goal catalogue this season is insane. So, but he hasn't really changed. I'm just happy that he feels good and is in the form of his life. So no, it's amazing to see.
But you've played alongside, I think, in your career, alongside and against some really incredible players. So if you could choose to sit down with a legend, dead or alive, to have dinner with, who would it be?
Oh, dead or alive?
Dead or alive? Any legends? Sit down, have dinner, obviously get to ask your questions.
Does it have to be a footballer?
No, not necessarily. I was leaning towards a footballer, but if there is someone that, you feel like, oh,
No, if it was a footballer and we spoke the same language, I'd love to go for dinner with Diego Maradona. I think because he lived some life. I think he'd have some stories. So I think that'd be incredible. He lived some life off the pitch as he did on the pitch. So he'd have some incredible stories.
what's the one question you would ask him at the dinner table?
Oh, I'd probably try and ask him about his time at Naples. I feel like that's the when he won the title with Napoli, which is like the equivalent of, I don't know, a player going to West Ham and winning the Premier League. So that's why he's a god there. So I'd probably ask him about his time at Naples, and yeah, his time at Naples off the pitch must have been absolutely mental.
You want those stories. But since
Yeah.
since you brought it up, whether it's a footballer or not, if it was a non-footballer, would there be someone in particular?
If there was a non-footballer, who would I like to sit down with? DiCaprio. I'd like to sit down with Leonardo DiCaprio. I feel like that'd be amazing. Elvis Presley, who's dead. I feel that could be quite good. So yeah.